Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into some really interesting source material.
Yeah, it's a collection of notes, some article excerpts too, all focusing on fruits mentioned in the Quran.
Exactly. And we've got these sources right here. Our goal really is to unpack what they say about 6 specific fruits.
That's fruits, okay.
Why these fruits? What benefits do the sources link to them? What makes them stand out in this material?
Well, the sources seem to frame it around this intersection of, faith, nature, and health.
Seen through the lens of these specific fruits mentioned in the Quranic text.
Precisely. It's about what these mentions might signify.
I have to say, I'm really curious which 6 made the cut according to this material and why them specifically.
Let's find out.
Okay, let's get into it then, fruit by fruit. Where do the sources start us off?
Right, they begin with the olive, described as small but powerful.
Small but powerful, okay.
And they really stress that it's mentioned quite a bit, many times, is the phrase used from the Quran.
Right, many times. And is there a specific, reference given in the notes?
Yeah, it points to Surah an-Nahl, that's chapter 16,
Okay.
where it says, He causes to grow for you olives.
And the benefits? What do the sources say about that?
Well, according to these notes, it's packed with good stuff, full of powerful vitamin E,
Vitamin E, right.
and apparently good for your skin, heart, and joints.
Skin, heart, and joints. Wow.
And listen to this. The source calls olive oil a superhero oil.
A superhero oil, seriously.
Yeah, it says it fights off sickness and keeps you strong.
That's quite a claim for olive oil. It
Yeah.
really makes you think about this, everyday fruit differently.
Exactly. Elevates it, like the source suggests. Such a small fruit, packing all that punch.
So after the olive, where do the notes take us?
From the hardy olive to the grape.
Ah, grapes. The source calls them delicious, juicy, right? And mentions gardens.
Yes, beautiful gardens. And it gives context from Surah Isra, chapter 17.
Okay, what does it say there?
It mentions gardens of palm trees and grapes.
Gardens again. And the benefits listed for grapes in these notes.
Quite specific here, too. They're highlighted as being full of iron.
Iron, okay. And why is that important according to the source?
It says iron helps your blood stay strong and healthy.
Strong blood. Makes sense. Anything else stand out?
Yeah, there's this interesting bit. The source notes that grape juice can even help with headaches.
Headaches. That's unexpected.
It is a bit, isn't it? Again, linking the fruit to very specific health points, like strength from iron or even headache relief.
That connection seems to be a running theme in how this material presents these fruits. So olive, grape, what's next?
The pomegranate comes up next.
Well, I like pomegranates. How does the source describe this one?
It paints a really vivid picture, actually. It calls it bright red and full of shiny seeds like tiny jewels.
Tiny jewels. I like that. And the Quranic mention.
This one's from Surah an-Nahl, chapter 6. It says, and olives and pomegranates, similar yet varied.
Oh, interesting. It links it back to the olive again there.
It does. And the benefits. The source says it helps the tummy, helps fight bad germs.
Okay, so digestive health, fighting germs.
And even helps keep your teeth healthy. Quite a range.
Definitely versatile.
But there's more. The source gives it this special status. It says, it's even one of the fruits of Jannah paradise.
Wow. A fruit of paradise.
That's what the source explicitly states.
That really adds a different layer of significance, doesn't it, beyond just being healthy?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It elevates it quite profoundly in the context of this material.
So we've had olives, grapes, pomegranates. Where to now?
Now, the sources shift focus a bit to a fruit strongly associated with, well, drier places. The date.
Ah, the date. Synonymous with hot deserts and the date palm, as the source puts it.
Exactly. And the fruit itself is described as soft, sweet, and full of energy.
Full of energy. And there's a specific mention linked to Maryam, peace be upon her.
Yes, a very powerful one referenced in the source from Surah Maryam, chapter 19.
What does it quote?
The instruction given to her. It will drop upon you ripe, fresh dates.
That really connects dates to sustenance, to support in difficult moments.
It really does. And the source also points out its cultural and religious weight, saying it's part of our as-sunnah, the way of the Prophet, peace be upon him.
So it's woven into tradition and practice too. What about the health benefits listed?
They definitely tie into that energy aspect. The notes say dates give energy, they help our hearts, and they're full of iron to make us strong.
Energy, heart health, iron for strength. That quick energy boost makes so much sense, especially thinking about, a desert environment.
Precisely. Strength and vitality seem key to how the date is framed here.
Okay, 4 down. What's the 5th fruit the source highlights? This one might be a bit of a surprise.
It might. Did you know the banana is mentioned, according to these notes?
Really? Banana, I wasn't expecting that one. How is it presented?
The source connects it, again, to paradise. Calls it a tree of paradise.
Another paradise fruit.
Seems so. It quotes Surah Waqiah, chapter 56, and banana tree is layered with fruit.
Layered with fruit, interesting imagery. And health-wise.
Pretty practical benefits listed here. Helps the stomach, gives energy like the date, and is good for your muscles, too.
Stomach, energy, muscles. Okay.
But here's a really specific detail the source includes.
Oh.
It mentions that banana flowers even help with women's health.
Banana flowers, not just the fruit.
Exactly. The source singles out the flowers for that specific benefit.
That's fascinating. Adding another layer beyond just, the banana we eat every day.
It certainly adds depth. Okay, that brings us to the 6th and final fruit in this list from our sources.
And the source material seems to suggest this one, the fig, is particularly special.
It does. And it explains why it's considered so special in this context.
Which is?
This fruit is so special, Allah swore by it in the Quran.
Swore by it. Wow, that's significant.
Hugely significant. The source gives the direct quote from Surah an-Nahl, chapter 95. By the fig and the olive.
There's the olive again, paired with the fig and an oath.
Exactly. It really underscores the importance attributed to both in this text.
So, what benefits does the source list for the fig, this fruit sworn by?
It mentions helping to clean out the body, protecting against diseases, and even helping with breathing problems.
Cleansing, protective, even respiratory help seems quite powerful.
And the source also notes simply that it can be eaten fresh or dried and is sweet and very healthy.
Sweet and healthy, yes. But that act of being sworn by, that really sets it apart, doesn't it, according to how the source presents it?
Absolutely. That elevates it to a unique level, even among this already significant group of fruits.
So let's just recap quickly. We've journeyed through these sources looking at 6 fruits, the olive,
The grape,
the date,
the banana,
and the fig.
and throughout this exploration of the source material, there's a consistent message, isn't there?
Definitely. These fruits aren't just presented as food. The sources frame them as gifts. Gifts from Allah, yeah. Intended not just for us to enjoy, but specifically, as the notes say, to help people stay healthy and strong.
It connects physical well-being directly with sort of divine provision.
So thinking about all this, about these specific mentions and benefits highlighted in the material, what stands out to you listening in? Is it a particular fruit, a benefit, maybe that paradise connection?
It gives you a lot to think about. And the source material kind of brings it all together at the end, linking these natural things back to reflection.
How so?
It leaves us with a final quote to consider, taken from the Quran itself.
Okay, what is it?
Indeed, in that are signs for people who give thought.
Signs for people who give thought.
A powerful closing idea from the source, suggesting that even in something as familiar as fruit, there's potentially deeper meaning if we give it thought.
It's a great reminder, a lot packed into these descriptions of just 6 fruits.
Indeed. Hopefully this deep dive into the source material has sparked some thoughts for you.
Until the next time, keep exploring.